So today in the shop, we've got a 2023 Chevy Colorado Trail Boss. We are doing brake pads on it because, as you can see in here, the pad life is no more. Time to replace the brake pads. So we looked up online. There's no videos or anything showing a brake pad job on these. So I figure it's a good opportunity to do a brake job and document it for everybody else who is looking to see if they can do a brake job themselves. So we got the wheel off already, and we're gonna start pulling the caliper apart and see what we can do. So this style of pad and caliper is super easy to work on. It's got two pistons on each side, and the pads just slip out the top. So you remove a pin here, and there is this metal clip that holds the pads down.
Those hold the pins in.
These hold the pins in, and then the pad can just slide right out. Now, with one pad in, one of the old pads in, you're able to compress the pistons on this side, so you're able to slide the new pad in. We still have to put the pistons in a little bit more, but that's the idea there. And then once we put a new pad in on one side, we'll be able to compress the pistons on the other side so that we're able to make room for the new pad on the back side as well. Now you can see, hang on, let me get a light. But you can see in here the pistons, how it's just, that one's just out a little bit. So that was what was holding the pad from going in. So we just have to compress that in a little bit more. We'll be able to slide the pad in, and then we'll be able to put the new pad in on the other side after we compress those pistons as well. So we got the new pad in on the front side, and to get the old pad out of the back, we had to pry the sensor. It's this wire right here. Oh, right here. And as you can see, it snapped upon removal, which was weird because it's just a metal clip holding it in place. Now, GM thought it would be a great idea to glue it. I don't know if you can see this little dab of glue here. The brake sensor is glued into the pad. So we used a pry bar to pry it, and it just broke, which obviously is not a big deal because it's all getting replaced anyways. So, but that's the reason why you'll have trouble getting the old sensor out, is because GM glued it in place. So we were having an issue getting the new pad into the back side of the caliper, and looking at the old factory pad, the metal brake wear indicator doesn't stick out past the back of the pad. It's almost flush with it. And the aftermarket pads have that on it, so there's not really a way to feed them in through the top here because that is in the way. So if you get these pads with this on it, you are kind of forced to take the caliper off of the hub assembly and feed this up through the bottom, which isn't a big deal. It's just 2 bolts and all of the pistons are already compressed, so it's simple enough. But I just thought it was weird that these OEM replacement pads are different than the OEM pads. So the caliper comes off with this bolt and this bolt. They are 21 millimeters. Just popped it off, held it in my hand, slid the new pad in place, and placed it back. Everything fits on here good. So now I'm just going to take the pins over to the bench over there, clean them off, grease the pins, and add all of the clips and brake hardware. And this side is done. And that's all you got to do the pads on a Chevy Colorado Trail Boss. So the pins are cleaned up, everything is reinstalled, everything is, well, not everything, but the pins where the pads touch them are greased, everything is tight, the new sensor is in, and I actually noticed something when putting the new sensor in. The reason that GM put glue on the sensors is because they don't have the right sensors to fit the pads. So when you go to install the sensor into the pad, a piece of plastic breaks off. And they covered this up by putting glue on it to make it better. Even though it's still not going to fall out, it just breaks a little bit of the plastic off when you install it. But that's a brake job on a Chevy Colorado, and that's going to do it for this one. Have a great day, guys.